Hi, class. Great job reviewing the Langloth proposal and deciding whether or not to fund it. It was, just so you know, to cut right to the chase, it was funded. And let me tell you the whole story behind the Langloth proposal. So, the Langloth proposal began when I arrived at the American Cancer Society. I had been at Barnard College, and we had been getting a lot of money from Arthur Vining Davis foundations. That foundation, even though it's called plural in the name, had been giving us money and seemed to be a good fit for American Cancer Society and what we were doing. So I called them up, the program officer. I knew them from my previous work, and I pitched them on what American Cancer Society was doing. They said politely no, that we actually didn't fit their guidelines, and they said, but we have a suggestion for you. And their suggestion was that we go to the Langloth Foundation, which was a great entree into the Langloth Foundation. I called up the Langloth Foundation and I met the program officer. She took my call because it was recommended by another foundation. And she was gung-ho about the first proposal. It was a proposal for patient navigation, which at the time was really a cutting-edge new program in hospitals and relative to cancer and other health issues. So we did the proposal and submitted it, and you actually have that as part of that 33-page package. And we were very surprised to get a rejection for that proposal. And when I called up the program officer to ask her what happened, she said there was one person on the board who did not like patient navigation, who thought patient navigation was not the way to go. So there's nothing you can do when that happens on a foundation board. But she did let me know that they actually liked one piece of that original budget, which was a $5,000 piece, which was making videos in Asian languages for the Asian population in New York. She said, take that and expand it. So we expanded that into what you have read. That proposal became a $140,000 proposal for creating videos in a number of different languages. Now, the proposal was submitted online, and as many of you correctly pointed out, what I gave to you was missing some things. And that's kind of deliberate on my part. Those other pieces, like the budget, the administrative summary, etc., were submitted through the online portal and did not print out as part of the final package. However, they were submitted. But those of you who have taken a look at the proposal and said, I'm not funding this because it's incomplete, you are 100% correct. What I gave you was incomplete. And that happens in the foundation world all the time. A lot of times people are rushing at the very end. They submit what they have. They haven't made a very accurate list ahead of time of everything that needs to be put in the proposal package. And they end up leaving some stuff out. And they don't get funded. Very good proposals oftentimes don't get funded. So lesson one is make sure you include everything that is required in the proposal. So in this case, those things were submitted. They were submitted online, and this proposal was funded. They love the idea of these videos to be shown in clinics and clinicians' offices for a population that didn't have access to English and didn't have a lot of other access to cancer materials. We did take a $5,000 item in a budget and blow it up into $140,000. Now, a number of you noted sustainability issues. Generally, when you have a proposal where you're producing something like a video, they're not worried about sustainability because it's got built-in sustainability. The proposals are already created. That is what the majority of the money went to doing. Reproducing those and distributing them in more places doesn't really cost a heck of a lot of money. Relative to the medium, yes, this proposal, a few of you noted, this proposal is a little old and it did rely on DVDs, which reality in 2020 in Flushing, in Chinatown, in other other communities, they probably still are using DVDs at this point, even though most of us have moved to viewing videos online. But it's very, very easy to take a digital file that's been put into a DVD and transfer it online, which the organization could easily have paid for later on, as long as those videos had a shelf life, and they did. They were, information videos that, really encouraged people to get tested, etc. So good job as a review panel. I know that for a number of you, it was the first time you read a foundation proposal. You're going to have some more samples that you get to read on the way towards writing your own first grant proposal. So good job, and I look forward to continuing to see what you think about proposals and everything else that we're doing.